Hey guys, how's it going? So in this video we're going to be talking about Solo versus FUV, or I can't pronounce the name. I guess it's called Arcimoto versus Electrameccanica. They're both funny names in my opinion. So, but anyways, I'm going to play this guy's video. I think he makes very good videos. And I believe that if he continues making videos, I believe that his channel will grow because he sounds professional. He talks very good and he sounds smart. Like, he sounds like a very smart individual. So I think overall his channel will do very well if he continues to make video. And this is a shout out to him. Hope his channel grows, even though he kind of put down my solo stock. I don't care at the end of the day. I want people to put down my solo stock because it gives me more of a perspective and not just be 100% bull. Because I'm a bull in solo, but at the same time, I also want people to bash on my solo stock because then it gives me a way to try to counteract it or try to figure out if they are correct and not just be 100% of a bull, because that is when you lose money. And after, I'll play a video and then I'll talk more about it. So let's begin.
Are trying to capitalize on the electrification trend happening right now. So we will be looking closely at each company's strategy to see if they can grow into a billion-dollar company and if either stock is a buy right now. Also, these stocks were brought to my attention by subscribers that watch this channel, so thank you to those of you who commented and suggested these stocks. And if you are watching right now and you have stocks that you would like my opinion on, just drop a comment below and I will let you know what I think. But before I get into the video, make sure you destroy that subscribe button if you are not already subscribed. And don't worry, I'll tell you later in the video to hit the like button, so you can either do that now or wait until later in the video. One of the hardest things about investing, but also the most exciting, is getting in on a good growth stock early. But this is really hard to do, especially when it comes to electric car stocks, because it seems like as soon as you discover a new EV stock, the price has already tripled in the past week. And even though these two stocks are both up over 150% in just 1 month, I don't think a lot of investors know about them, and so they present good opportunities to still get in early. Now, this video will be pretty high level, and I won't go too much into the financials of each of these companies because they are very small. Both companies have market caps close to 200 million. So at the end of the day, both of these stocks are speculative investments, which, like I have said in some of my other videos, means there is a high risk of losing your money. So unless you are a Wall Street bets type of investor, I don't recommend putting in more than 1% of your portfolio into these stocks. And I guess if you are feeling risky, you could up it to 2%, but really it's your life, so you need to make this decision for yourself. The first company I want to talk about is Electrameccanica, ticker symbol SOLO. Electrameccanica has 3 products listed on their website, including the company's flagship car, the Solo. Then you also have the Tofino and the E-Roadster. But only the Solo is being manufactured right now, so that is the product we will focus on. The Solo is a tri-wheel single-seat EV that is targeting people who commute to and from work on a daily basis. And the company's website claims that of the 119 million people who commute to and from work each day, 105 million of them drive alone. Therefore, the Solo was designed to be a highway-capable vehicle with a top speed of 80 miles per hour and a 0 to 60 acceleration time of 10 seconds. Now, the range is only 100 miles, but I think this was done on purpose since it is a small car and it is not intended to be taken on long road trips. According to financial statements, pre-orders for the Solo EV were an impressive 64,379 as of March 31st of last year, with most of those orders coming from customers in California, Washington, and Oregon, which makes sense given that most of Tesla's sales come from states on the West Coast as well. And despite the headwinds from the coronavirus, CEO Paul Rivera says that the company remains on target to start deliveries in the second half of 2020. So a lot of positive news from the company, but here's my opinion. My first impression of the Solo EV was that it was really small and honestly looks kind of weird. For example, if you look at it from the front, it looks pretty normal, but from the side, it makes you wonder, where's the rest of it? And the size could be a potential problem because over the past few years, the trend in the automotive industry has been towards bigger, not smaller personal vehicles. And really, it is kind of a safety issue nowadays to drive too small of a car because everyone has giant trucks and SUVs. For me, I have a Pontiac Sunfire I use as my commuter car, and I do worry that if I get in a wreck, the thing would just crumple like a soda can. So that's my first concern. My next concern is that of the people who have the disposable income to buy an electric car, how many of them will just opt instead to go with the Tesla or a Nissan Leaf? I mean, why get a weird looking tiny car that looks like it accidentally got chopped in half when there are plenty of full-size electric cars available? Now, I guess you would save some money since a Solo is projected to cost under $20,000, but that's not super cheap either. And for only $10,000 more, you can get a real car in the Nissan Leaf, which has more range and faster acceleration and more space in case you need it. And while I was initially impressed with the 64,000 pre-orders for the Solo, I did uncover that the number also includes pre-orders for the Tofino, their full-size electric sports car that doesn't even exist yet, with orders for the Tofino making up 2/3 of the pre-orders, which really just confirms what I just said. People would rather have a cool-looking electric car rather than a tiny, weird-looking one. The Solo reminds me a lot of the Smart Car, which came out many years ago. And in case you are wondering how the Smart Car is doing, Smart Cars are no longer sold in the US due to lack of demand. In fact, Mercedes only sold 680 smart cars in 2019 in the US. And that was despite Mercedes coming out with electric-only versions of their smart car, which didn't sell any better in the US either. So this is not a good sign for the Solo. While I give management an A on getting to the point where they are starting deliveries this year, I can't help but feel like the product market fit is off. And I think what it boils down to is that people are no longer willing to drive a tiny car just for the sake of helping out the environment. Tesla's cars look super cool and already get better mileage than gas cars, so consumers no longer have to sacrifice looks in order to help the environment, which has gone a long way in helping make electric cars cool, and is one of the main reasons Teslas are so popular in the EV market. But when it comes to the Solo, I just don't know if they're going to be able to sell enough to really grow the company into a billion-dollar business. Okay, next on the list we have Arcimoto. Arcimoto is very similar to Solo when it comes to their mission and their flagship product, the FUV, also known as the Fun Utility Vehicle. The FUV is a battery electric tri-wheel vehicle that has similar performance to the Solo with a top speed of 75 miles per hour and a range of 102 miles. The FUV also costs the same as the Solo, coming in right under $20,000. But the main difference is that the FUV can be configured for many different uses and can seat up to 2 people. And in case you are wondering, doors are available for the FUV but are optional. The company recently opened a new factory in Eugene, Oregon and passed federal safety tests in September of last year, which means they were able to start delivering their first FUVs late last year. As of December 31st of last year, Arcimoto had a total of 4,220 pre-orders for the FUV, which is less than the 23,000 for the Solo. However, they plan to be able to manufacture 12 units per week by the end of quarter 1 this year and 16 units per week by the end of Q2, with a goal of 200 units a week by early 2021. So that is a really good sign that they are already manufacturing and delivering their vehicles, and that is more than can be said for Nikola, which has a market cap 125 times bigger than both of these companies, despite not even having a place to manufacture their products yet. But while there are a lot of similarities between the Solo and the Fun Utility Vehicle, I think Arcimoto had a much better strategy with the FUV. For one, it can seat more than one person, which makes sense from a practical standpoint, and I like the marketing for the FUV a lot more. By marketing it as a fun utility vehicle, you are appealing to customers who might not actually need a new car, but have the disposable income to buy one. And by adding the word utility in there, you are helping potential customers justify their purchase by helping them think of your product as useful in more ways than one. For the Solo, based on the marketing, it should only be used for a single person as a commuter car, which really limits its appeal in the marketplace. And like I mentioned earlier, Smart Car only sold 680 units in 2019, and the Solo is even smaller than the Smart Car. So this could be a big problem for Electrameccanica and their Solo product. The other thing I really like about Arcimoto's strategy is that they have multiple versions of the FUV. In addition to the recreational model, model, they also have the Deliverator and the Rapid Responder. The Deliverator is modified to be a single-seater and has more storage for things like food or packages. This, I think, will be a huge market in the future, with more and more restaurants buying fleets of small electric cars to deliver food in the future, which should help reduce costs as more people use apps to order food. You can also brand your fleet of Deliverators to raise brand awareness for your restaurant. Now, there is nothing stopping Electrameccanica from doing the same thing with their Solo, but as I said, you are kind of limiting yourself by only marketing the Solo as a personal commuter car. And I could be wrong, maybe Electrameccanica's plan here is to expand the Solo into more of a multi-use vehicle sometime in the future, but so far, Arcimoto has a better strategy by doing this right out of the gate. The other version of the FUV Arcimoto has is the Rapid Responder, which actually looks pretty cool, and I could see this being used for security purposes or for medical rapid response, where you might just send out 1 or 2 people to get a feel of the situation at hand. But right now, I do think it is really smart of Arcimoto to brand their FUV for multiple purposes, because it will give them a broader appeal in the marketplace. Now, what's very interesting about these two companies is that when we look at their charts, they are very similar. Both companies
ended off there, but if we compare the two cars, I do kind of like the look of this better than the Solo, I'll be honest with you. I do. But the thing is, the Solo is also sold in China. There's also advantages of using using the motorcycle lanes that will cut through traffic. And when you're in traffic and you see this little small car going through traffic while you're waiting in traffic, you'd be pissed off and you probably want to go get that small car so you can go to work easier. So, you know, there's advantages of that, and the Solo is a much better advertising vehicle because of the look of it. People stare more often than they do this car. Yeah, people would stare at this car, but as you can see, that, you know, there's not very much place for advertisement. I mean, they could add they could add this thing up, and then yeah, that would be a good advertisement vehicle. It does look funny enough to, you know, for people to stare, but, you know, that's my opinion. But another thing is the Solo is sold in China. I mean, the manufacturer is in China, so I can see Solo selling this throughout China, throughout the rest of Europe, while this company is kind of stuck in the United States, at least for now anyways. But, you know, that's my opinion. I don't mind this company, and the market cap's pretty good. But again, that's just, you know, that's my opinion. And then if we look at the Solo stock versus the FUV, Solo has an estimated target of 781, while FUV is it's 570. So FUV is actually above what Yahoo actually priced it at. So in theory, Solo has more ability to move towards the upside, while FUV, it could go further to the upside, absolutely, but already has a price target of $5.70. It's already surpassed that. So, you know, I would say it's a little bit more riskier, but I could be wrong, and this stock could go way above that price target of a 570. It does have a smaller market cap than Solo, but Solo has a much higher pre-order. They're a global company, and they do have plans to make different vehicles into the future. And if you also look into the background of the CEO, he was involved in sports cars. Like, he was involved in the McLaren and other really nice cars, like really sporty cars. So, and they do have plans to make different Solo cars in the future. This is their first iteration, and they will have more plans in the future with different Solo cars. But it's up to you. I mean, I like FUV, and if it drops down below this 570 price target, I definitely would buy it. I'll be honest with you, I honestly would not buy Solo at these prices. I would not touch Solo stock at these prices because the risk is really high at these prices. I would only touch it if this stock goes back down to $4, maybe $3.50. Definitely, I would think about considering picking up because the price target is $7 and the reward is $7, so that's at least a double. But $5.50, I would not touch the stock at $5.50. I will only touch the stock if it goes down to $3.50 off maybe $4. If the stock goes all the way up to $7 and then it drops back down to $4, I might consider buying it at $4. But if this thing just drops down to $4, I probably wouldn't touch it. If it drops down to $3.50 or lower, I might pick up a little bit more. But, you know, this is just my plan. This is my game plan. I don't know what the market is going to do. I don't know what the big money is, how the big money is going to move this stock. But I am bullish on this company, and I do believe that it deserves at least $1 billion market cap because they are in China. They are in China, guys. NIO is in China, and this company is expected to flip a profit when they start doing full production, while NIO is worth how much, and they're not even profitable. So Solo is expected to be profitable, at least according to the CEO and the management, once they go into full production. And Solo is not. So I don't know. NIO is not. So and NIO is what, a market cap of $13 billion. They are both in China, but Solo is in the United States, in Canada, in China, in the rest of the world, while NIO is only in China. So that is that's the reason why I like Solo so much, because they are in a worldwide market, and the CEO is a veteran when it comes to making good cars. So, you know, I do have a video I will release later today regarding CEO. I came across a very interesting interview with the CEO, and I will share with you guys later in this video, tonight. So look forward to that. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents on the subject. It's your money at the end of the day. You can do whatever you want. AYRO. I'd be careful with this company. They just raised money. They raised $50 million at $4.75. So I definitely be careful about picking up any stock of this, because it could drop below $4.75. It could, but sometimes it might not. So either this is a buying opportunity, this stock's heading up a lot higher, or it's going to drop back down to $4.75. Yahoo does not give it a price target at all. NIO today was up $2. You know, $2 would be considered almost $2 billion movement in market cap. Like, obviously, retail investors are not pumping NIO stock to the upside. It's big money that's moving the stock. Workhorse is falling back like I predicted. I predicted that this would happen to Workhorse, and right now it's coming to fruition. We'll see if this can continue or if it'll keep going down. Yahoo does give it a price target of $15.13. I think it's going to drop below that. We will see. A market cap of $1.7 billion. I honestly think that Solo will be making the same amount of revenue as Workhorse in the future, and they will be profitable. So, and Solo is 350, well, I would say more like $400 million right now. But yeah, and Workhorse is $1.71 billion. Taurus Acquisition Corp. also pulling back, down 70 cents. The combined company, once the merger is activated, is worth about $2 billion. No, like, I think like $3 billion or $4 billion. It's way below Nikola for sure. But let's see what Nikola is. Nikola is, yeah, wow, Nikola back down so much right now. 48.70. Still wouldn't touch it. Still wouldn't touch both of these companies because, you know, I wouldn't touch Solo either at these prices. But, you know, big money does what they want to do. So if they want to keep pumping this stock, they will. So, yeah. Very today up 13 cents. Just wanted to point that out. I kind of happy with that because I have a position in it, but it's only up 13 cents. That's not very much. It's still nice though. Plug power is up 70 cents. Not too much to say about that. Ariel today was up $2.50. We already talked about that. And okay, well, anyways, Chesapeake also went up 23% today. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Subscribe for future updates and have a great day. Bye.